gonna start that on time. Both days at this card show and, okay. Yeah, chefs on the ground.
Yeah. Both days.
Start that on time.
City, my God. You say them.
Excited we actually spent. Just making notice of it. Okay. This needs to go. Yeah. I think it's interesting.
My son, that's the weather spring. Portugal. I know, we love to.
We want to welcome everyone to our Hyde Park City Council meeting for April 8th. We appreciate the masses coming in, or coming in droves. We appreciate that. So thank you. We're going to start off by Councilman Brower is going to lead us in a prayer of thought and then the pledge. And we'll go there.
Our Father in heaven, we're so grateful for the opportunity we have of living in this great country. We're grateful for especially the opportunity we have of living here in Hyde Park and working with those that are around us to help make this city better. We're grateful for all that we have, for all we've been blessed with and all we've been given. We're thankful for families here and how they make up such a great community. We pray that we will be mindful of our people that live in this city as we make decisions, that we will have the interest of their interests in mind as we move forward and serve and be able to do these things. Please bless our country, bless our nation, that it may be blessed, protect our servicemen and women. We're grateful for all of these things, and we ask for these things and pray for these things and do it in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would you follow me in the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kurt. We want to also pray, let it be known that Councilmember Osborne is out of town right now, but we will reach out to him later for a session that we have. And he's got a busy month as he's got a son get married. So I told me he doesn't have to actually be there. It's not like him getting married, but apparently his wife thinks otherwise. The first item that you have on your agenda is the review and acceptance of the meeting minutes from March 25th. Let's take the workshop first. Does Councilmember Brower, have you got any comments on the meeting minutes from the workshop?
I'm good.
Tiffany?
No comments. None.
Just thank you, Danya, for the good notes. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So I'd look for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from March 25th for the work session.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion from Stephanie. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a second from David. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed with nay? The next item is for the council meeting minutes. So for March 25th. David, you got anything?
No, I don't.
Stephanie,
Nope, they were great.
Tiffany,
Nothing for me.
Kurt?
Nope.
I look for
I
a
move we
motion.
accept them.
There we go. We got a motion
I'll second it.
and the second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? We have before us the agenda. I don't have any changes to it. So if you don't, counsel, we'd look for a motion to approve that agenda.
I'll motion we approve the agenda as written.
We've got a motion from Tiffany to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second for Stephanie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Now's the time we open it up for resident input. And we ask that you keep the comments to 3 minutes, and there are items that are not currently on the agenda. We may or may not be able to answer, but we'll go through the resident input at this time. So we'll open this up.
Mr. Mayor, council members, my name is Bill Knowlton. I am a member of the Hyde Park Partners development team that's doing the Cache Meadows facility. Just a brief comment. We do development work all over the Western United States. And I have to tell you, I was quite moved by Councilmember Brower's prayer and invocation, and also the gratitude he expressed for this country, for America, and also the Pledge of Allegiance. That doesn't happen in other communities. And I just want to give kudos to Hyde Park for having your priorities straight. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Any other comments? If not, we'll close that resident input, and we appreciate the comments. And I think I would speak for all of it. I think all of us say what happened here goes without say. Surprised at your comment that it doesn't happen that way in other communities, but we don't have a dog in their fight. So the first item is to get, the chief is away, so we won't have police input, but I'll turn it to Marcus for staff.
Thank you. And there is a quick rundown of the weekly stats. The chief did send that over, and so that is in the packet for you to look at. The only updates that I have is that we met with the mayor this morning, myself and Danya, to work on the budget. And so far things are looking pretty good. But we will be proposing, we're going to have to propose some kind of tax increase or something to make everybody's wishes come true. So just a heads up. And then due to the new laws put in place by the state, our first meeting in May, we're going to have, there's some procedural things we'll have to do to talk about the budget. But we're not going to be holding any public hearings until the actual budget. Oh, we doing in May? My bad. Okay, so we will be having a public hearing, the first meeting in May, to have feedback on that tentative budget. So just a heads up for everybody.
Do you anticipate that you'll have that complete, that we can look at it?
Yes.
Okay, super. Next time.
The part that we struggle with is the state has passed a law that we must do this, and we must identify on our tax rate whether or not we're going to maintain the rate, which is actually a tax increase, if we're going to decrease the recommended new tax rate, or if we're going to have not only maintaining but increase of the tax rate. all of which is based on information that comes from the county of a taxable rate. But the state makes us go through this. But what they don't do is they don't make the county give us that tax rate. So
Down in June.
After we already-
So, yeah,
It's tricky.
so we need you to say, thanks for the meal you just ate and we'll feed you the next month. It's gonna be a guess.
Yeah, we have educated guesses about how much revenue a tax increase will bring in. And we went through that this morning, but we won't know the exact dollar figure until the county publishes their numbers in June. And so the preliminary budget that we will have the public hearing on is definitely going to be preliminary because we won't have those exact numbers yet.
Will we have the exact numbers from the county prior to us having to pass ours?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Before
So
We won't have it for the preliminary for the hearing in May, but we will have their numbers before we actually have to.
Yes.
adopt the
Okay.
real budget. Yes.
Got it.
And
Okay.
are we anticipating staying the rate or an increase above staying the rate? Is that what you're?
The budget shows just staying the rate.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Okay.
Staying at
Staying-
a decreased rate that we got decreases last year.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's not 0.0011.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the only other thing is the two notes on the agenda. There's no city council meeting the week of April 22nd due to the fact that most of the council will be at the League of Cities and Towns mid-year conference. And then next week, we are having our monthly general plan workshop on next week instead of at its regular time. So come on down at 6 o'clock.
From me, we reached an agreement with Project Back 40 on an MOU for the city to be reimbursed if we have to perform a study. So the Back 40 would pay for that. They would reimburse us up to a certain amount. So since it didn't obligate the city to actually perform that study or obligate any funds, I've signed that agreement and sent that back to them, and they've already sent it to us signed. We're in discussions, and it's been in the news, of fire district. There's a lot more that needs to be fleshed out on this, and we're going to be meeting with multiple cities and the county executive to talk about how this would come about. So as soon as there's a true direction, I'm going to invite Executive Danes to come and present here at this council. So the last item is,
A question on that. So if we're not double paying for fire, will that open up some money for the budget?
In theory, yes. Is that how it's going to work? We don't know quite yet.
yeah, if it were that simple, I would say yes, but it's probably not going to be that simple, unfortunately. But
It's government.
it may free up something. So that's the potential of that, yeah. The other item is we have found, God, I don't like saying that this group, water rights. Now they're going to pay attention. And we have a potential of buying quite a few. And they're not as cheap as they were the last time we did this. But if the council would like me to continue. I know we've had representative reach out to them and start some discussion on purchasing I guess I could say how 200 acre feet, which is significant.
Where's the confetti?
Where's the money to pay for it? Sorry to throw that out there and just, put water on the fire.
We'll let you know what we find out.
That part, recognizing that the persons weren't opposed to us paying over time. So that's the final amount would have to come back to council and have an agreement of what the contract would look like if we could spend it over 4 years or something, and we change our code where people don't necessarily, we have a problem where everyone has to bring their water. Maybe there's some leeway if we could acquire some. Don't know how much leeway and making sure that we get reimbursed some of that water funds that the city expends. So anyway,
And you said water rights.
Right.
Sure, rights, okay.
it's underground water. There's significant Logan River water too, but more interested in subsurface. So if nobody's opposed, we'll continue down that way and we'll bring back a final for the city to take a look at.
Fantastic.
No police report. Let's turn it over for the water quality report.
Thank you, Mayor. City Council, this is more of a heads up. So every year we do our annual drinking water quality report in partnership with the state of Utah. This is a report that's available on our website. You go to our Public Works page and there's a link called Drinking Water Report. It's available for everybody to read. This is a notification for the public about our water system as a whole. This is all about the quality of the water. So it talks about the different things that you could find in the water, different things that are common locally, geographically. And the short version is our water is really, really clean and we get high marks for it every year. And so if you have any questions about this report, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I can address those for you. But we don't need a motion. We just need a acknowledgement from the city council that you are aware of this report and you know where to find this report. And if you have any issues with it, you will let us know.
We have very good water.
One question. Is there any way, or can we differentiate between well water and spring water? I mean, does it just all end up together by the time we test it?
Yeah, the way that our system's set up is it kind of gets all mixed together
Okay.
before it goes out to people's homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
'cause
so-
we can pump from the wells to any of them and we can run
Right.
from the spring to
Yeah.
any.
So we don't test it as it's coming in from the spring or
No.
coming up from the well. It's okay.
After treat.
No, this is testing that's done in partnership with the health department. The health department took the samples for many years. They're backing away from that. Now the city's going to take our own samples and just send them to the health department to be tested. And they go to set locations throughout the city, just testing the water as it comes out of different sources.
Oh, look good. Thanks.
If you just look at the levels detected versus what's allowed, you'll notice that we've got incredible water.
Yeah, no, look good.
All right, the next item.
When do they test our pump here, our well?
As soon as.
As soon as we
you
connect
get
it into the
to
tank.
Tank.
If we test it now, we're gonna have a mess.
You asked a tough question, Kurt. We've got everything going except for the connection into the tank. And,
We're working with the contractor to make that happen as soon as possible.
but it's a lot like pushing a string uphill. So we want it done next week and they want to wait till later in the month, and we have problems with spring and water flow, and they're putting us in a very difficult situation, which should not be an amazement to anyone. The next item is to consider the Cache Meadows Skilled Nursing Senior Development Park impact fee. As you recall, last council meeting, everything was, you made motions on everything, and this one was continued. You have inbox the email that we received. Now I can't find it. I'll have to look in box. And while that, I think it's only right and correct that if Cache Meadows here, they certainly can come and speak to their view if you'd like to do that. And I mean, I think that's. I see you brought the muscle out this son.
Thank you. My business partners and I, we like to have fun at city council meetings because sometimes there's actually tens or hundreds of people that are here in opposition to us. So he actually could bet me $20 that I couldn't make two of you laugh at the same time, and I couldn't use the words Tyrannosaurus Rex in this conversation. So that's on public record. None of you laughed, so I lost.
So
I lost.
So you owe me $10.
Yeah. Actually, you did get everyone to laugh.
Pardon?
You did get everyone to laugh, so technically he owes you $20.
Okay, there you go.
Attorney. Thank you for having us back. We really do appreciate it. This letter is simply a follow-up to our conversation from 2 weeks ago. You were gracious enough to allow me some more time to do some more work and some more research, both on the city's parks impact fee and on our position as it relates to the parks impact fee. Mark was great at providing us his calculations and his backup for how it was calculated. This letter basically highlights the current way that the city is calculating impact fees for parks. And that's based on your 2021 study. And it strictly is tied to population growth. Which makes sense because under state statute, right, your impact fees can only be charged to new development based on the demand that new development is expected to put on that specific service, whether it's water, sewer, or parks. And so our use falls in a unique category. And if you look at surrounding cities and also cities up and down the Wasatch Front and throughout Utah, the majority of them actually do not charge an impact fee for parks or recreation on commercial users. And it really goes back to the primary reason of that, of what impact fees are for, and how the state of Utah, how the state of Utah's legislative body has defined it, which is what is, and this is why they're called impact fees, what is the impact of that population or that development going to be on that publicly provided service? And here in our scenario, our position remains that our impact is near zero. Now, will we have nurses and employees, et cetera, move to Hyde Park City and become residents of Hyde Park City? We hope. We absolutely hope so. And then they will be obliged to pay or obligated to pay that impact fee if they're building a home or a condo, or they'll be buying a home privately, and those impact fees will already have been paid. So that is where our position currently is at. That is kind of a very summarized version of what this letter stipulates and outlines. I have references to other cities' municipal code as it relates to their specific impact fee laws. I have a breakdown of the impact fees as they were calculated, some corrections, and that's kind of, that's where we're at. Open for conversation. I have really two proposals in there. Again, our number one proposal, we are asking for a full waiver. Number two is a significant reduction. Because I understand that council does feel that there will be some impact based on this development on parks, potentially from family members visiting residents, from employees potentially walking their dogs and using the trail system. So I totally understand that, and that's the number I have thrown out there. Honestly, is somewhat of an arbitrary number, but I do not mean this disrespectfully to Marcus, because I think that he did a phenomenal job at trying to calculate impact fees for a project that doesn't have a calculation under your impact fee study. I don't know that ERUs are the way to do it, so that is why my proposal, my second proposal for a significant reduction is simply arbitrary. I believe this is what our impact would be. I don't know that either calculation, mine or Marcus's, technically are allowed under state statute. I mean, I don't know that I can be any more bare and transparent up here. And that's why my third proposal is, hey, if we can't come to an understanding, or you guys just don't feel comfortable providing any reduction, or you're going, hey, let's get a study done, we'll pay for the study. Like, we'll go get the study done for our project. I do think it would benefit the city based on your growth that's going on, which is fantastic. To get your own study for commercial development and how it relates to your impact fees. Again, Marcus's task has been monumental to get this done. And super grateful for him for doing that. But I think both of us are taking a little bit of a shot in the dark. So if we look at all the other cities in the surrounding area, most of them, zero impact fees for commercial development. On parks, not on water and sewer and everything else that we already talked about, but primarily on parks, because parks are looked at as a benefit to residents of the city, and therefore that impact is directly related to population growth within the city. Any questions, concerns? I haven't had a gavel broken at city councils in a month.
We haven't had a council meeting in a month, so. There we
2
go.
weeks. I was here 2 weeks ago.
Well, it was last month though.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I've thought about this a lot, council. I know in the email that is between the city and the attorney, the rough estimate originally was 193.
59,000 for parks.
Originally, before the decrease, when they applied, it was.
Yeah, so our attorney offered a couple clarifications. Clarification number one is the amount that was assigned to the building permit was already reduced from what would be the base amount if we were just charging,
Like
the study says, per door, per bed. That amount would have been closer to 190 or 150,000, depending on which number you use. And so the city attorney said, number one, there was already a discount given at the time of the permit, although there are calculations. I'm missing some information on how some of the variables were found to determine the ERUs. And I was transparent with these fine gentlemen about that. But our city attorney said that's the first clarification, is there's already a discount. Second clarification he offered is he couldn't find any kind of evidence to definitively say that the impact would be zero. But he said, sure, we could agree that there is a reduced impact from these types of facilities. So our attorney's recommendation was that we've already offered a discount of approximately 69% when we assigned the fee at the permit, even though we can't definitively determine how we did that. He felt that that was a pretty steep reduction and the city could stand behind that.
So we've offered a discount on something that we have no qualifiable or quantifiable evidence of what a rate should be to start with for a commercial entity like that. So that's, I get that part.
And Mayor, if I may, if the attorney were here, my counter argument to him would be our fees were never $190,000 because your impact fee study, which you're legally obligated to follow, defines the impact fee and calculates it on a population to a per connection cost. We only have one connection. We don't have 120 connections.
Right. So that's why I say it's not a quantifiable or
And-
qualifiable.
Exactly. And that's why I'm going, Marcus
And
has undertaken a monumental, and staff have undertaken a monumental task. But anyway.
yeah, that, I think the city agrees with you, trying to, you know, read the tea leaves, so to speak, out of
Absolutely.
something that we really haven't got identified. So, and recognizing that it was, what is it, 59?
Yeah.
I would say likely there's, you know, hopefully the employees, some of them move to Hyde Park and that impact fee gets adjusted when they buy their homes, but, or build a new home. To say that, you know, knowing the clientele, there may be visitors and things like that, employees that might utilize to some regards. So that's where you throw out your option 2. Let me go back to that. Oops, wrong one. I have so much opened here. On your option 2, where you have a reduced amount that you're talking about, and I would say that reduced amount, 11, 12,000, whatever that amount was in that,
$11,932.50.
I'm about, we know how engineering studies go. That's probably about the same cost as the study. That might be their bid on the study. So, and the outcome of that study might be their impact or no impact or something, you know, we don't know what it is. So that leads you into option 3. If they have that study, are you willing to live with the outcome of that study? These are just having you think about the various options. That outcome could be nothing, it could be something. So that's obviously, I have a view, but I don't vote, so council, this is to you, recognizing that I appreciate what Marcus has done, researching, trying to figure out something that's, we have really no guidelines to figure out. And I appreciate the people, you know, taking their time with us, trying to help us navigate new territory. So do you have questions or discussion, council? Kurt?
I want to make sure I understand what we're talking about, because I'm not sure I understand it.
It's okay.
How much money, or what's the fee presently that we had, like, 100, I mean, with the reduction and everything, what is it we're talking about?
59 and check.
59,662.
It's
So the amount,
Roughly $60,000.
that's the amount that was assigned to the building.
And what are you recommending?
We, our primary request is a full waiver. However, our backup secondary request is 20% of that amount, so approximately $12,000.
There's,
So
so
you're-
backup to the backup
Yeah,
is,
and again, Councilmember Brower, if you go, hey, Tyler, how did you calculate that? Or come up with 20%? I pulled, it was an attempt to compromise, where that's what I pulled out.
So you're saying, I know you want it for free, but if you don't, it's 20% of the 60, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much would the study cost you?
I don't know, but I'm willing to pay for it.
Anybody have an idea, Marcus?
Depends
Something
on
like
how
that?
detailed it's gonna
Yeah.
be. You, if it's,
My traffic study, through Hell's Engineering was $2,200. About $2,200. I would imagine a Parks Impact, if they're just
we
looking
need
at our
to know
site.
who your engineers are then, because I was gonna say this study is gonna be between 5 and 10,000.
It's a little different when the city calls versus a private party.
Yeah,
it depends on who does it too.
That's for sure.
Short answer is no, I don't. I have no idea how much a single park impact fee study would cost. Probably not terribly expensive, not like one of our master plan or impact fee updates studies have cost.
so keeping in mind, my father lived at Pioneer Valley. And when he passed, what's the one south of there called? South of Pioneer Valley,
Not Legacy, is it Legacy?
no, it's the
Maple
big,
Springs?
what's it called?
Maple Springs.
Maple Springs,
That's right.
big one on the corner at that roundabout. That's where he was when he passed. And that one would be more along the skilled nursing of what they're doing. They, all my time going over there, you know, some people drove. They had both senior care and skilled nursing there. They had their own on-site places for things. They had their own busing that they would take people to grocery and things like that, but I never recall my dad ever saying that you're going to the park.
Yeah, this nursing facility is truly an immediate post-acute care facility. So people here are coming usually directly from the hospital. And it's a lockdown facility, not in the true sense of the word, right? But it's like a hospital. You're not leaving that facility unless your physician tells you that you can leave
Rehabilitative
that
type.
facility. Yes, and you're either going to your home, or you'll be going hopefully across the streets to our future assisted living facility, right? And that is a big delineator between assisted living and skilled nursing. Is these skilled nursing patients, some of them are immobile, many of them will be transported, you know, through private ambulatory services from hospital to facility. The assisted living will have 100 connections, you know, to water and sewer. It will have impact on your park. This is one step below a hospital. This facility can treat almost anything that is not immediately acute. People come here for a number of weeks to a number of months to heal from acute and chronic illness. So they are not leaving that facility unless they're being escorted.
Tyler, is it safe to say that you'll be back here in a number of years with proposals for the assisted living facility, phase 2?
I hope to be back here in a number of months.
Okay, oh, no, great.
Yeah,
Now,
we hope to release our architect any day.
okay.
Build the assisted living next door. And I can affirmatively say on record, as far as parks go, impact fee, I won't be having this conversation. I know my residents of the assisted living will have an impact on your population and on your parks.
And I guess what I would say is, we don't know what that impact will be, so we'll be right back here again, having a similar conversation. I'll just jump right out there and say, this is the first time I think anybody's offered to pay for a study and not have the city pay for it. I mean, I'd be okay with that as long as included in that is not just skilled nursing, but assisted living is part of that study, so that when
Yeah,
we see you in again a couple months, that
we're not having this conversation.
we're not having it again, that we have a study that says, here's what the study recommends for skilled nursing facility. Here's what the recommends for skilled nursing. For assisted living. I suspect we won't have too many more of these kind of facilities in Hyde Park.
You will not have any more nursing facilities.
Yeah, maybe assisted living perhaps, but
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
For my sake. But Marcus, when you guys redid the multifamily impact fee study, did it include parks and transportation, or did you just do water and sewer?
It was all of them.
It was all of them?
We included a study for a multifamily rate of every impact fee.
Okay, so I like the idea of including assisted living. I think it falls closer to a multifamily type use
Mhm.
than the nursing home. And so I wouldn't have much debate for it, but I'm not opposed to including both in my study. I think it gives clarity for all parties involved. Look, a study ultimately could negatively affect me, right? But I'd rather have that clarity for me and for you guys.
The big delineating issue for me is this is nursing versus assisted living. We can plug that one into our calculations,
I agree.
and that works.
It's truly multifamily.
It's multifamily. It plugs in with connections.
Yeah.
It works with how we calculate.
We do not have a memory care component.
We
proposed,
don't.
And so it's not under lockdown. Residents are free to come and go just as, they are at an apartment complex.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So what's the advantage of doing a study?
We can prove to the state that there's proportionality in what we're charging them, which is the requirement, right? That we can't charge something that we shouldn't be charging in a study. We've done a study for every other impact fee we have under the sun, but we haven't done one for a specific kind of facility like this. That's how I see it.
Right. And the way our attorney described it was, the way it is right now is defensible in court, but it's not the most precise way.
Well, and when I read his letter to me, it appeared that he was addressing more to do with assisted living than skilled nursing, as I read that letter.
this would
So
really address the skilled nursing.
I mean, if the city council wants to go with a third-party study, that's up to you. I would just say a couple of caveats there. First, we would want some kind of written agreement between the two parties, acknowledging that this is what the city council wants. And then I just want to be really clear. You're saying if we do a study, regardless of how it turns out, you're okay with acknowledging and accepting the results.
Yeah, because we're not going to have them pay to perform a study and then not accept it.
Yeah, I think I'm as in favor as in parks and spending and building parks as anybody, I think, on the council, at least equally so. And if that's the right thing to do, then it's the right thing to do. We shouldn't charge anything, or it's one connection fee and that's what a study comes. I'll live with the study. That's
The thing is
What they're
we're
there.
not going to get any more skilled nursing facilities because that's governed by the state. The number of beds are governed by the state. The state's not issuing
There's a
any more
moratorium.
licenses for skilled nursing beds.
They're
So,
not until we hit 92% occupancy, and statewide occupancy is 64%.
Yeah.
okay.
So-
It's not likely that we'll have another facility like this come anytime soon.
we'll have a study on the shelf that'll need to be updated in 10 years when we hit the higher, when all of us.
And we
With
won't
this
remember
council-
it either, because none of us will be
All of
here.
us looking for that spot.
So if that's the case, then would the council consider if we're going with the study, to make some kind of motion to the effect of, once the study's done, we can just assign the building permit. We don't have to have them come back to the council for another vote.
So I think there's three motions that is before you. Motion A is you accept them at their initial request of
0.
0. B is they kind of concede and say it's approximately 12,000 and they're willing to go there. Or C, you go with the study, and that motion would include you're going to accept the results of that study.
Yeah.
Or a fourth option that says we don't accept any of them.
And
And we just stay with what we have.
Or that one, correct.
Actually, a different amount, because I
Or
feel like we have given you substantial reductions already.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe zero impact is realistic. A reduced impact, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I think
So, and I don't think we have to accept their number because, right,
You don't. You absolutely don't.
and
I-
not that I have better numbers to give you a better number, but
I think in their letter, they gave some good examples of cities that don't have impact fees for this kind of facility, but we also have probably examples where other cities do.
Yeah, and then that's kind of a problem because each city crafts their impact fees according to their study.
different.
And so unless we know how they did their studies and how they implemented all that,
How they applied it to.
it's not,
a
it's
certain
an apples and
facility.
oranges. And so it's good to see what our neighbors are doing. And
Yeah.
we very often do that for all the things that we do. But I would advise the council not just to accept that at face value, because we don't know the data and the numbers and the situation and the budgets of those cities. Maybe they don't have any more room to buy any more parks. And so they don't have a park impact fee because there's nowhere to expand the parks. I mean, there's lots of variables that go into that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not like they're building a lot more of these skilled nursing
No.
facilities in this Cache Valley or Utah.
No.
So it's hard to have a comparison on that. But
Yeah, I pulled those cities in as a comparison because simply because my understanding is that's how our impact fees were calculated. Was looking at neighboring cities. On
you have one in River Heights?
no, I included cities not necessarily where we have developed, but cities that are similar
Okay,
to Hyde Park, and then just some in the general area. But Marcus is correct. It is apples and oranges, and that's why I believe that Sunrise had such a hard time coming up with how to calculate even our impact fees on water, sewer, transportation, et cetera.
Yeah, and a quick specification, the studies to establish the impact fee amount were done the same way, probably the same format that's required by state code.
Yeah.
The looking at other cities and using data was used to determine the equivalent ERU amount for the water and wastewater usage.
Yeah.
So our impact fees were done according to state standards, and that's where you have the variables, because when Logan City does their math, it's going to look way different. And what an impact that one house has on a much more established city is not the same impact as it would have on a much less established city like us. So that was it. That's just the specification.
you got the same thing up tonight too. And I recognize in here that many cities only tabulate their impact fee based on residential. So
I think we should, my recommendation or my motion would be to accept the 20 instead of 25%. That gives us an additional 3,000, which would be less than probably the study would do, which we put on a shelf. I think we move on and this is a unique situation. We're not gonna have it, more of them. They're all gonna be a little different. We'll come do with them I don't think the impact's gonna help us with anything down the road. So that's mine.
your motion is basically number 3, but versus
25% instead of 20.
25%. Got a motion from Kurt Bauer
Number
for,
2.
pardon?
Number two.
Number two,
With an
but
increase.
with the modification, I think that if that is said to be at 20% of
25.
this. Is that 20%? That's not 20%.
20% of the 60.
Well, the motion was to bump it to 25. So number two says 20% of the current amount. Kirk is recommending that we bump that up to 25% of the current amount. Is that correct?
Yes.
But. Okay,
He's just saying.
so that takes that,
To be on top of.
okay. So we got a motion from Councilmember Brower to accept proposal 2, significant reduction, but rather than at 20%, to make it at 25% of the current amount, which takes it somewhere, I won't guess, but 25% would be 15,
About 15.
15,000.
15, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Do we have a second on that? If we don't have a second, we will have it. It will die for,
It's a bad idea.
what's that?
I don't think it's a bad idea. I just don't know if I personally am willing to reduce it that much.
I'm leaning towards going with our attorney's recommendation. Where we've already discounted.
So-
by-
Do I have a second on this motion? If not, the motion will die for a lack of a second. Do I have another motion? I thought, I
think we're wasting time.
You better hurry up there, Stephanie, or else I'm gonna make
That
one.
we follow our attorney's recommendation. And
that's it. 59 and change.
Stay with the impact fee as it was assessed with the building permit.
yes,
That's 59,662.5. Got a motion from Stephanie to stay at the current adjusted amount of 59,662.50. Is there a second? We will have, with no second, it will die if we have no second. I shouldn't say die, but the motion fails for lack of a second.
I just don't, in my head, I don't. Because I do agree, limited use of maybe our parks, limited impact on the parks. I just don't know what the fair reduction is, because we've already given you a considerable reduction on your other impact fees. I know you feel justified in them, and we approve them.
Councilmember Atkinson, I appreciate the transparency. I hope if anything, the council has seen that we really don't hide our cards. Like, we're open and open not only to showing you everything that we have done and why we feel this way, which I hope the letter has thoroughly done. But I'm not standing up here hoping to, get a win off of Hyde Park City or not pay something that I genuinely owe. I'm up here asking for a reduction because I genuinely don't believe we should be paying that. And if we are, anything I do pay, I feel like I'm paying it to try to be a good partner with the city, and that's it. And so I only say that because I do appreciate the candor and the transparency. And
Well-
we try to do that in all of our deals with all the cities that we work with. So sometimes maybe I share too much.
We appreciate it.
That, yeah, and in transparency as well, I think you get to see the council make sausage. You may not want to eat sausage anymore, but this is, it's a challenging thing because it's a one of, and we can go jump through a lot of special hoops to get a study to tell us something that we're not going to use ever again. Or, so, do we have another motion, council?
Sure, I'll go the other extreme.
Okay,
I move that we accept their third proposal and go with an independent third-party study. If they're paying for the study, who cares if we ever use it again?
Would that
So that's
include-
my motion.
Would that include accepting the results of that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I accept the results of every other study that we've paid for, and I'll accept one that they pay for as long as we agree on who conducts the study.
We've got a motion to accept. I gotta quit swapping back. Proposal 3, an independent third-party study and accepting the results of said study. Is there a second?
How long does it take to do the study and how does that impact your progress of your development?
So if this motion were to pass, I would propose that it be amended where we can actually pay what's currently being asked. And then any change to that based on the study is refunded to us, or we end up paying more.
That's actually included in proposal number
Did
3.
I already include that, Marcus?
Yeah, so it says under that option, we would request the city allow the project to
see.
proceed by escrowing the currently disputed parks impact fee amount with the final amount to be determined after the third-party study is completed and reviewed by the city. Any amount determined to be excessive would then be refunded or credited accordingly. So that was already built in there.
Yeah, thank you. I
There we
thought
go.
I had for once.
So I'm really not in favor of the study, but I feel like maybe that is the more fair approach if we want to be fair and pursue it and look into it. And then you're willing to pay the full amount. If we owe you
Yeah.
at the end, or you owe us, vice versa, whatever that
Absolutely.
looks like.
So is that a,
I don't want to do that, but yeah, I'll second that motion.
so we've got a second to proposal 3 and accepting the results of said study with all the qualifiers within that proposal.
And if this passes, I would just want to make sure that that whole thing is included then
It's
in our minutes. I mean,
in-
I chose not to read the whole thing, but it would be in the minutes.
But proposal 3 is defined in their letter.
Yeah.
The only thing that is not defined in that letter is the city will accept the results of that study. And that's
But
the
we would-
addition to the motion that was accepted.
Thank you, Amy.
I feel like it's because it is unique.
It
And I
is.
don't think we need the study, but I do feel like it is the most fair way for us to act also in good faith.
Absolutely. And like that last paragraph says, Utah law gives you that right in unique situations, and this is a unique situation. And so I myself would feel better with a study, knowing I have a defendable reason for paying that fee, whether it's $150,000 or zero, right? At least we have a third party telling us, no, this is what it realistically should be. This is the direct impact on your parks from their development.
And we
And-
would agree upon who does the study and
Yeah.
And that was really my point, Tiffany, as I've looked at this and thought about it long and hard, going, well, how do I come in here and go with 1 or 2 or any number, because I have nothing that I can base it on.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could base it on would be a study that I'm
Right.
not gonna be able to do off the internet, I mean, so
not our expertise
it's,
to provide.
yeah,
the
so
numbers.
It's all the more reason to give praise to Marcus and staff for the
They work hard.
effort they went through to actually
Yeah.
calculate these in the first place.
Yep.
So,
I mean, a couple $100,000 more dollars in our parks fees, yeah, I'd be ecstatic for that, but if that's not
If
the
it's
right
not
and fair
fair.
thing to do, then we don't need to be going down that path.
I agree.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be writing that check, Councilmember Fultz, when we develop the assistive living, so.
Any more discussion, council? Having none, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay?
Nay.
So then I think the next
Aye.
most fair thing
Hold on.
is back to,
So
oh,
the-
sorry.
By by the state law, when there's a tie, the mayor gets to vote.
Oh, you get to vote.
This is the first time, and this is my
It's true.
4th term as mayor.
I
Happy to
think
be your
you've
first
never
mayor.
voted. I kind of
So-
forgot that you could vote.
I guess we'll wait for the mayor to make his vote.
I can't believe you were on your phone while talking.
That is crazy.
I've been a zoning attorney for 17 years. I've never seen this happen.
I've I was on city council and this for one term, and this is my fourth as mayor, and I've never seen it happen.
Practiced zoning law in 7 states with similar makeups. This is the first time in 17 years I've seen this.
Oh, thank you, Father.
Well, you are welcome.
So yeah, based on our form of government and the mayor's
That's right.
responsibilities, he doesn't vote. The mayor does not vote unless it's a tie. So here's your
You want to call
moment.
barrels?
Here's your
Oh,
moment to
no,
shine.
I'm going to vote in favor of the motion. Because I would personally, I would like to see the city get park impact fee, but the fair thing to do is to determine if there is an impact. So, and I think they're extending a great olive branch in that here, we'll pay it what it is, and then you refund or we'll pay more, whatever the outcome of the study. So I think that's a fair and equitable, treating them fairly. I would like to see funds in the city park, but
That's my
what's
concern.
fair is what should take precedence.
So Mayor and Council, just for clarification, I'm going to be contacting the city attorney then and just getting a statement written up from him about what our expected participation in the study will be. I anticipate we would want to have input on the selection process, and possibly be included in some form or fashion during the study to have an interview or something like that. But then I'll get that statement from the city attorney, forward it to the developers, and we will go from there. And we can have the attorneys work out the legalese.
And Marcus, I don't know, I don't know the law relative to this. The only thing I would probably request, I will request, is we use a third-party engineering firm that.
Oh, yeah.
That isn't.
Yeah, we don't want to poison the well.
by the city.
We like Sunrise Engineering, but since they've already participated in this as in kind of a study, we'll definitely want to have somebody else
Yes.
be doing the
And
analysis
I'm
for
happy
us.
to use a third-party engineering firm that we haven't used, just so it's a neutral group doing this study.
Yeah.
So,
I'll get that written up
Okay.
and get it
Thank
sent
you.
over to you, and we'll figure this out.
I think the decision, I don't believe in the win-lose. I believe in a win-win or evenly distribution of pain. So.
I think it's one, and I truly do believe what I said. I think, and I know you're having budget talks, and this year may not be the year, but it would behoove the city to have a commercial impact fee study done, because I see your commercial base starting to grow.
Yeah.
Along Main Street and in other areas, and you're doing a great job with it, but well, you're not having these conversations, so.
Are we done on this issue?
Sure.
So 30-second comment. I went to law school at Arizona State, and it was named after Sandra Day O'Connor, who went to law school with my uncle. Justice O'Connor, I met her for 30 seconds in Phoenix, and she told me something. The representative form of government and the back and forth that just happened here and the result that came is what makes America unique. It's complicated, it's not easy, it's hard, but it's what differentiates us from every other country in the world. And it works. It takes time, it takes passion, it takes thought, but it works. And that's what differentiates America. And I love it. And I love everything that happened here tonight. So kudos to Hyde Park.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Anything else for me?
No, unless you want to talk to express bill pay. No.
I
Okay,
pay my bills and block bills. So
let us know when you're doing
we are so close.
groundbreaking, and we'll invite the council and staff to come out and
You
and
all
watch
will
you
be-
break the ground.
You all will be invited. We'll try to get hopefully the band there from Green Canyon High School, other representatives.
Yeah.
It's not Green Canyon. No, it is Green.
Yeah, Green Canyon, their band's good.
Good. So we'll try to have them out.
And you need representative and senators
Yes,
emails, we can certainly share that with you.
thank you.
You good?
Thank you.
As just say, if you get the band there, people show up just for that.
I
So
love it.
you'll-
Oh, yeah.
you'll quadruple the numbers.
My
So
son's a band kid, so I love the band. So,
There you go.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming up
Yeah.
and enjoy Cache Valley as stopping.
Hard not to enjoy.
Well, if you're gonna spend money, go to Maverick.
We can do that.
Or you can buy a car. So,
We can do that. Thank you.
all right, thank you. The next item is to consider signing an agreement with Express Bill Pay for Utilities. I know Marcus, you explained this a little bit because of, we really didn't have good interface between different network systems, and this will get us that. So go ahead.
Yeah, so just to recap, we're not proposing this to save money. It's going to actually end up costing the city a fair amount more money. We're proposing it because the quality of life features for our residents and the transparency in the billing and the coordination between our billing software and this proposed change make it well worth the additional expense. There was a question brought up last time about possibly using it for mobile payments, something like a replacement for a Venmo or a PayPal. There is a screenshot of an email in the box describing that, yes, they do offer that feature, and the city could use that for something like city celebration, for the youth council, so that any payments we receive from those events could be integrated directly into our accounting systems.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a nice feature.
That's good.
My only question, I failed, I think they asked 2 weeks ago, did we look at other options? I mean, this is expensive. I'm okay with it because it does the right thing. But I'm just wondering if there were other options, and we kind of narrowed it down to this one.
So Danya may know this better than I do, but I believe that I gave Colette and Melissa the assignment a year ago to start figuring out ways that we can make the billing better, because we're getting a lot of complaints from people that people just were upset about all sorts of things. I believe in their process. They met and looked at several different softwares, and this was the one that rose to the top as the best option.
And is it true, is this the one that North Logan uses?
There's 5 or 6 cities in the valley that use this
That use
one.
it? Okay, so it's,
My house down in Hiram, this is how we signed up for our utilities, was with this program.
okay,
Field uses them.
okay,
They're a very popular option in the valley.
use it, okay. Okay, thank you.
So I'm seeing that it costs about 30,000 and more per year. Do we have that in the budget?
Yes, we will.
We have to make that room in the
we'll
budget.
Make room for that in the budget, but,
Depends on what you don't want in the budget.
but it really, I'm not pushing it, but compared to the product we have, I mean, they're not even in the same ballpark, it's,
If you're paying $40 a month for some kind of software,
it
It's-
basically allows us
yeah,
to run somebody's credit card.
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, this other one is going to do the entire billing process. They won't even be calling Hyde Park anymore to talk about their utility billing. It'll be all done through Express Bill Pay.
The savings is in our health.
Yeah.
Right,
Man
it's
hours.
gonna,
That's how I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
Back into the things that we care about and not babysitting the payment system, doing it 3 times every.
Between
Then it will-
different staff members, we're going through 10 to 20 hours a month transposing all of these numbers, and then the errors that they're trying to find, the pennies that we have to have it balance out.
Sometimes it's 10 to 20 hours a week.
So we'll have to find more things for Colette to do, huh?
Don't worry, I have plenty of things for everyone to do.
Yeah, so
I think
I
this
know.
is a good step because then it preps us for, we know we're growing, we see the development happening and that this is just
Yeah.
preparing us to take that on in an easier fashion.
Yeah, I think
So before you would be to consider signing, it would take a motion for us to enter that agreement.
I move that we accept this proposal.
Got a motion from Kurt and a second from Tiffany to approve signing an agreement with Express Bill Pay for Utilities. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any disapprove with nay. Motion carries 4-0. Next item is consider a letter giving approval for work on the trails. If you recall, Tiffany has gone out and we did go with a bid. And it's the right bid,
Well, we're not
free.
free. Yeah. I was gonna say,
I'm saving the money right there, Dave.
Good with it. I'm good with it.
They were
Behind this thing and get it going.
Are you guys okay with the letter?
Letter, I
Yeah.
want to make sure that we have.
We're gonna put on city letterhead for you. We just
I just
didn't,
wrote it, but
we didn't quite have the time to do that for you today, but
Yeah.
that's the plan to
Their
get this on.
risk and liability for injury, they assume that. I imagine they have their own insurance coverage and things like that, but
yeah, we just, I had a letter from Draper and Harriman, I can't remember. But they were all more basic than this. Like this has more detailed in their letter, so they just need permission to be on the land. And Neil Etherington, who has been the contact working with these guys, said, put it, because I had put it from June 1st until October 31st, and he said, but they start in May, and if they don't have projects, they can come earlier, plus it's dedicated time to help us execute as much of the trail as possible, so we bumped that date to May 1st.
yeah, I don't care. We can bump it to tomorrow. One, the price was right.
I think they start in May, so we just
So-
at their start date.
May 1, okay?
I just want to say thank you, Tiffany, and kudos for all your hard
Yeah.
work to
Well-
acquire this.
Well, this has,
I'll second that.
Mayor has been in this discussion, Neil has been driving this, this has been a group effort from people, so I will pass that along.
To make sure that I think that it's, some of the trails that we had cut before were cut specifically for hiking and not biking, and let's make sure that this is,
That's what, yes.
if you do them biking, then it's good for hiking. If you do it only for hiking, it's not good for biking.
And so, and that's why we put in there that there is also related improvements. So they can do some improvements on the north side to existing trails. So are anywhere up there that's on our land, if they're like, hey, we have time and this needs to be fixed, they'll fix it. Or they'll improve it
Absolutely.
and it won't cost us.
Will they be hauling off everything that they cut?
I'll have to find out.
Or will they make a pile and we need to
I'll
go up
ask.
with a truck and haul it, and which is,
Okay.
yeah. And maybe we just rent a shredder for a weekend and shred everything and put it around that.
We could put it in our compost for our community garden. But-
Your garden's not gonna be near big enough for.
No, it's,
All right, so thank you, Tiffany. So do we have a motion to approve the letter?
Oh, yes, I'll make that motion.
Got a motion from Stephanie,
I'll second it.
a second from Dave. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Motion
Mayor.
Carries 4-0.
Quick point of clarification. So we're gonna put this on letterhead, but you'll have to tell us where to send it, because this
Yeah.
doesn't say where to send it.
it doesn't
So-
have an address on it because I did not know the address when I wrote it. You're right, I'll get you.
So
the address.
pop in tomorrow and
Yeah.
figure out where to send
Yeah.
it.
Council, the next item on the agenda is to consider reapproving a resolution 24-21. A resolution expressing Hyde Park City Council's approval to adjust the common boundary with North Logan. This has to do with the property on 7th East and 6th South that North Logan could not get you sewer utilities to, and so we accepted to have that adjusted in. It kind of has hung up and people have been building their houses, wanting to move in, and they can't get billing and everything straightened around, so we want to reapprove this and make sure that it gets to the Lieutenant Governor's office for approval.
Yep, so the council already approved
You go-
this back in 2024. We had a public hearing. I don't
Yeah.
believe there was any comment at the public hearing. So all we're asking for is just recertify the vote so we can turn this back into the state and and then it's current and they can get it processed ASAP.
So we approved it
You approved
a
it,
year ago, but it never was applied or went into effect or something, so now we are reapproving it so it can,
Yeah, I'm not
More
gonna
or
point,
less.
I'm not
More or
gonna point
less, okay.
fingers because it's a
Finishing
debate between
bureaucracy.
everybody on whose fault it was that it got dropped. It got dropped. And so now to fix it,
Got it, okay.
the process is get this reapproved, get it resubmitted to
Okay.
the state, and then supposedly that will allow our newest residents to finish up their
Yeah.
stuff they need to be successful residents of.
Has North Logan approved it in their last one, or is that next week?
I called their city administrator yesterday and he said he was going to do his best to get on their agenda for tonight. I don't know if that happened or not.
They,
Or their next
their next
agenda,
meeting, they
whatever
meet
that is.
first, third, or second, and fourth.
Okay.
So
Well, I move that we approve or reapprove resolution 24-21.
we got a motion to reapprove 2421 by Dave and a second from Kurt. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Motion that carries 4-0. Any item you want to bring up at this time, Dave?
Yes, we didn't meet as a safety meeting because of some folks out of town last week, but we will be meeting tomorrow. Not a lot on the agenda, but we haven't met for a couple months, so I think going into the summer, there's some things that we can talk about, and I know there's a couple of things that have come up, some safety concerns by residents in the last day or two we'll address. The other thing, I attended the Cash High Line. They're the Upper Middle Canal. I attended their shareholder meeting on Monday. It was standing room only. I mean, 100 or 200, I don't know how many. I just want to share a couple things that came out of that, and then I've got a thought. They told farmers there, don't plan on a third cutting this year because there probably won't be water for us. They said if they opened up the water now, that we would be immediately into restrictions, which means when they do open up the canal in a couple of weeks, whenever that is, we will probably be, those with water shares using the canal water will likely be under restrictions, perhaps no more than twice a week. And again, kind of depending on your water shares, but for your standard, half a share, it's not going to be a lot. With that in mind, I am wondering if our next meeting in May, if we shouldn't have, well, between now and then, I know we talked some time ago about adjusting water rates, and I would like to revisit that, maybe have a public hearing. I would really like to reward low water users in some way, and the way we would reward them is by lowering the fees on the lowest of the water users and then raise it on the higher users. And we've, again, I think discussed that a number of months ago. And then I'm also wondering, Mayor, if we shouldn't have some kind of a discussion presentation on just where we are with water and the water shortages. In fact, one of the other things that was mentioned, he said, if your lawn is green, you're probably using too much water. That was one of their comments from one of the board members. So anyway, just something I think we need to discuss, consider. Mayor letter in the next newsletter. Hey, folks, it looks okay, but it's not. However we do that. But
So
good
Colette is refining the presentation that we had, and that's going to be coming back, the very thing that you
Okay.
asked. So you have more on that, Marcus? But
Yes,
she's bringing it back.
I visited with Colette today and she's got a final version that she's going to give to me, and we're going to mess with it and hopefully have it ready for a presentation in May. Do you as a council want to see it first and talk about it first, or should we just throw it out there for the public comment?
I think get it to the council in as rough a form, the numbers, the chargemanship doesn't have to be great, so that they can start digesting and looking at what the impact of everything is going to be. And I'm sure she has the percentage. There is a reward for the lower water users, and
Right, but you can't really discuss it unless we're at a meeting.
right.
So do you want the first meeting to just be, here it is as a discussion item, and then we do a public hearing? Or do you want to just dive right into the public input?
As quickly as possible.
I was gonna say,
Joe
does it-
came home today and said somebody was watering their lawn and it was
Already?
green as green could be.
There's so many people. I was surprised that I got complaints about the water pressure. I reached out to Marcus and like whole neighborhoods are watering their lawn already. And I'm like, it's not that early, but they are.
It's been happening for weeks.
It's
And we had it
supposed to
rain
rain this
a-
weekend. Fire water.
Because I won't go on record and say it.
Good idea, Dave.
Thank you. All right, let's get it on the first,
Okay,
get it out there on the first.
For a public, I don't think it hurts to have, I mean, we'll know how angry they are because they'll all show up.
our last water rate public hearing, we had a line out the door.
Yeah. They'll all tell us they're angry if we're raising the rates, but also,
Mhm.
Well, I think we will be raising the rates, but I think we'll maybe should consider lowering the rates. For the same time, and we'll only hear from the ones that are being raised, but
It's the base rate.
The short version of what Colette is presenting is, I believe it keeps the lowest users the same or even offers them a discount. And then it increases the highest users who in turn have the highest use, produce the highest wear and tear on the pipes. And so that's why theirs is getting adjusted upwards.
and I think Colette's been pretty thoughtful. I mean, I visited with her in her office about how she's tried to adjust those, what's the right word, tiers.
Yes.
I think she's been pretty thoughtful about it.
yeah.
Well, and if we even keep the lowest one where it is, that's a reward too. We're raising rates, but we're not.
But not
upping.
raising yours, yeah. But I mean, we need to not just raise rates to raise rates. I mean,
Sure.
you know, it's at some point, you know, if we're raising these and then do we lower some and why are
Well-
we raising them? And I think that all needs to be part of the conversation.
There's only a couple of reasons, a few reasons per state code why a city should be raising their rates. One of them is to generate revenue, which is going to be one of the components that we're proposing because our water fund is getting more and more slim every year and it does not seem to be
Stagnant. It's not-
recovering. We're not generating the revenue that we need to accomplish the city council's priorities, such as saving up a rainy day fund for large scale pipe replacements. We know the infrastructure is aging. Another component is conservation, but we can't specifically tie a water rate to conservation unless we have a specific conservation plan that complies with the state codes that let you do that. And so primarily what we're going to be presenting is a water rate that will generate revenue for our water fund.
The big thing that we spoke about this week on the budget this morning is, you know, as we've said in the past, when we do overlays of road, I want to have an assessment of the water and sewer lines underneath that road so that we don't have to cut it 5 times after we put down a new road to repair an old water line. Well, we're not saving money to replace those water lines. We are stagnant. We're covering our costs to provide water right now. That's what we're doing. We're not covering to replace infrastructure. By the way, all of this area, including that my house was put in 40 years ago.
In the
30, 40
90s.
years. Early 90s, 30 years ago. So that we're not saving to do what we should be saving to do. So
So the answer is to have a public hearing at our next meeting. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
public hearing, you may not vote, but you're gonna,
Correct. I think we need to vote sooner than later and we need to have a public hearing before we do it. So let's move forward and have a public hearing.
and
And if any of you want minutes or recordings or firsthand accounts of how the last one went, feel free to stop by my office and I can give you a really good idea of what you can expect to hear.
So you're not traumatized.
the
No.
real,
It's just seared into my brain.
the real thing is when you vote for a rate increase, you're voting your own self, you know,
Oh,
we get that same thing. And like I tell you, on the property tax rate increases or staying or anything like that, any fees. No, if it's a dime, you're gonna get a beating. You're gonna get the same beating for $1 too. So this is the front for the residents and this is where they get it. So
I've received some of those anonymous letters in the mail.
yeah, it's It's okay. That's why we banned for the prestigious positions.
But we have to be proactive to
Yeah.
Yeah.
make sure that we
Right.
provide our city what we said we would do. And
We
Yeah.
need to get some education
Yeah.
material for the
Absolutely.
next city newsletter. Because it'll get out there before city council meeting in May. So, all right. Stephanie,
We had a successful Easter hunt on Saturday.
So fun.
We had about 140 kids,
That's awesome.
30 kids,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And it was fun and the weather cooperated, so. That's it.
Tiffany,
I met today with our community garden. We're in the process of making plans for a service day. It's gonna be April 18th. We've reached out to some of the clubs at the high school for participation. Anyways, we've reached out to several groups. I need to talk to you guys. Do we want to move? We can move those rocks as part of that service day. Is there somewhere you want them? Or should we pile them up? I don't know. I need
Those
to
are
come in and talk to the city.
River Rocks.
And say where should we put them? Cause we can still use them like on the edges of the part, but I don't know if it will take all of them. But
Yeah,
Anyways.
we want to keep them, we'll talk about it.
we can talk about that. And then, what else was I thinking? I don't know.
Next front porch.
Yeah, I'm having struggle getting people to come to the planning meeting. And so right now, it's me or it's not happening. So I'm hoping that we'll hold one in May. When, I don't know, maybe I recruit new members to help plan it.
Kurt? Good?
Hey, your mention of rocks reminded me of something. We again have rocks all down to the new basement.
Oh, yeah.
Kids keep
They kick-
throwing them down there. It seems like it's getting worse. I'm not sure why.
I think for those on the police commission, I think this could be utilized at the same thing. Or is that? What's the annual training we have to do?
They open the public meeting.
Oh, that's it. Never mind.
Can I ask, when is this park supposed to be finished?
The goal is to have it all open and ready to go by Memorial Day. Now, with the water situation being what it is, that's a big asterisk. We're gonna have the playground open by then. We're not sure if the landscaping is gonna be ready because we're kind of struggling to find some sod right now. But playground will be open.
We're waiting for the company to come in and install the tiles.
Okay, I just wanted to, from our Healthy Hyde Park Committee, coordinate, because I think we'll do like a grand opening with our new city park and try and push our Every Kid Outdoor. We're looking at doing an event tied to the park.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to target date that we could be planning towards, and I'll give you more details.
I sent you that Get Healthy, the
Yeah, they're
next person.
changing, they're changing how they qualify, how you qualify for the designation. So they asked us to take a survey.
Just forwarded that
Yeah.
on to you, so.
Maybe once the park opens, we'll see less rocks thrown down.
Yeah, maybe there'll be
Below.
somewhere to play.
'Cause then they can go play instead of throw rocks.
With that, we have one item that we want to go into closed session on that has to do with one of the topics that we are allowed to go was purchase or sale of real property pending litigation. So what we'll do at this time is take a motion to go into closed session. We will, once we do, we'll turn off and restart the recording. And afterwards, we will have a motion to come out and then the motion come out and go back into city council. We'll stop the meeting and restart again and then have a motion to adjourn. So I need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion from Stephanie,
Second.
a second from Kurt. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay?